welcome back to another video. My name is Andrew, aka the Black Dragon. This is Black Dragon Studios. And today's video, I'm just going to be talking about why I think King Arthur Legends Rise will fail, whereas Raid Shadow Legends will succeed. Now, for those that don't know what these two things are that I'm discussing, both are video games. Both are RPG video games. So what these RPG video games are is basically, for those that don't know, is like a turn-based style game. So like I take a turn, then you take a turn, then I take a turn, then you take a turn. These games have been around for ages, you know, dating all the way back to like, I think like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. I was never big into RPGs before I got into Raid Shadow Legends, but many would consider even Pokemon to be an RPG game. So if you consider Pokemon to be an RPG game, then I definitely was a big fan of RPGs growing up as a kid, because I used to play Pokemon all the time, and I used to get made fun of for it all the time, but I did it anyways. So yeah, anyways, I think that King Arthur Legends Rise is definitely like the new breed of RPGs when it comes to collect, you know, summon champions, collect, build them up, upgrade their kits, upgrade their gear, and basically just farm stuff all day, you know, repetitive sort of like meditation style games that don't really require much thinking in the long run. They do require short bursts of like strategizing and thinking in order to get those long bursts of good farming that require zero thinking or effort whatsoever. But those moments are far and few between, because as you know, if you play one of these games, you basically just 99% of your time spent in these games is just done mindlessly farming dungeons and, you know, collecting loot, collecting gear, completing events and stuff like that. It's what we've all come to know and love as just your classic kick your feet up on the desk and chill kind of game. You know, there's no intense like Call of Duty, gotta focus, gotta figure out who's behind me, who's in front of me. You don't have to figure none of that out. It's all just relax and enjoy your time, you know, on the game. And potentially meet some friends, join a clan, socialize with some friends, meet some people, and that's pretty much it, right? So that's really it. Basically, I think that both games are exactly the same now. Raid came out back in like 2019 or 2018 or something like that, and it's grown in popularity to be one of the top 3 grossing games on the Google Play Store, which is nothing to scoff at. That's a very big accomplishment for any game whatsoever on the platform, on any platform. And they've expanded their horizons from the mobile platform all the way onto the PC as well. So you can play Raid on the mobile or on PC, which is a big difference between King Arthur and Raid, and that's going to be one of its downfalls. One of its downfalls is that it simply can't be played on mobile. King Arthur can only be played on PC to my knowledge, unless you have some crazy device that, or crazy tablet or something like that, that can download this game, then, you know. But Raid is just simple. You don't even have to have a good device to play Raid. I remember playing Raid for the first time on an average, at best, Android device when I first started playing, and it ran fine. Now, to download King Arthur, as you see here, I've got King Arthur updating in the background, and it's already on 7.5 gigabytes just to update this game, because I logged into this game one time to do a video on it, and I never logged back in again. One thing that I absolutely despised about King Arthur right from the get-go, is that it's a carbon copy of Raid Shadow Legends through and through. Despite what I've heard people say about this game, I think this is a trash game, and I'm going to tell you why. They've literally copied every aspect of Raid Shadow Legends, and they haven't improved a single thing. The only thing that they've improved is the pay-to-win format, where it's actually a little bit cheaper to play King Arthur, but you're going to be playing a game that's in its beta form. First of all, it's testing form. the characters in the game are there's no attention to detail paid to these characters. I've played the game and I've looked at the characters. They're all just like medieval times, like fantasy characters. Some of them are knights, some of them are princes, princesses, queens, evil, characters. But there's no real like thought or effort put into these characters. They're just very generic and stock characters that anybody could create at any time. Whereas Raid Shadow Legends has actually put some time and effort into, I would say, most of their characters. Most of their characters are intricately detailed, and I just find them to be more interesting to look at or on an overall level. Not just this one sort of genre of barbarian, medieval knights and, peasants and serfs, kind of like, this King Arthur back in the medieval times type. They do have that in Raid Shadow Legends, but they also have about 15-20 different character archetypes that they go off of when they're designing a character. Whether it be elves or angels or demons or just regular people with like crazy abilities, or fallen angels or whatever have you, goblins, you name it, ogres. There is all those character types in Raid Shadow Legends, and they do it very well. But no, my biggest disappointment about King Arthur to this point was that it is just a dumbed down version of Raid Shadow Legends. It is a watered down version of Raid Shadow Legends that is going to take up more computer space than Raid will ever take you. Yes, it's free to play friendly, but so is Raid. If you really want to get into the argument of free to play friendly, Raid is definitely free to play friendly. If you want it to be, it can be. No, much like in King Arthur Legends Rise and in any other pay-to-win game where you can pay more money to increase your progress and get better equipment, better characters faster, and just overall further in the game faster than you would if you were just not paying any money at all, or free to play, so to speak. They're both the same. Every game is like that. Every game like this is like that. You look across the board at any game where you can do this, and the people that pay money, most of the time, I would say 99.5% of the time, are going to have bigger and better accounts than people who have not spent money on the game, regardless of the amount of time that you've played in the game, because you're just going to have access to infinite amount more of resources and bonus resources from the amount that you've paid to get to where you're at in the game. Okay, so regardless of the fact that King Arthur is probably, I would say, 50%, maybe 50 to 60% cheaper if you were going to be in the pay-to-win scale, or, pay any money at all, is Raid Shadow Legends. Raid actually does have one or two good deals here and there for the low-spend players that, can keep you enough in the game that you are not completely free to play, but you have still access to some moderately decently priced packs. For example, the monthly gem pack every month in Raid Shadow Legends gives you access to about 50 or 60 energy refills, or 24 or 25 ancient shards, which can potentially get you a legendary champion during a 2x event quite easily. For I think it's like $13 or something like that, $10 American, $13 Canadian. So if you get that monthly, that's like a monthly subscription to, pretty much any service. And that gives you enough. If you save that up for, say, 3 months, well, you now have enough to do like a fusion where you can get a free legendary champion or something like that. Okay? In King Arthur, this is King Arthur. Like, I've been updating King Arthur for the last 15 minutes, and I've gotten absolutely nowhere with it. This is first of all, this is frustrating. Second of all, I'm having problems with the client right now, the Netmarble launcher. It's going through its testing phase, and honestly, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really know how to use it, and it just seems like it's too big and too clunky. Like, for one game, they've basically made an engine similar to Steam, where you can go on Steam. Let me pull up Steam here. And I have a gaming computer, I might add. So let's click here for a moment. This is my Steam, okay? So it's basically the same thing as Steam, where you can come on Steam and you can like search up a game or whatever, and you know, it's not really a game per se, but it's like a game client. And this is the same thing, but they've made just a client for just one game, which is weird. Now, it's not, I guess, too much different than Plarium Play, but Plarium Play, I can download it in 3 seconds, and it works instantly. I run the game, and the game downloads once, and the game runs, even when it's updating, it updates instantly. It takes 1 second to update. That's it. And that's why I like Raid compared to King Arthur. It's just more convenient for me to play Raid. It's more original, it's more artistic, it's more animated, whereas King Arthur is sort of, I don't even know how to explain it. It gives me this feeling of like depression when I play. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, I get the same feeling when I'm playing Raid. Well, that's good, you know, for you. But for me, and I'm just being honest here, I feel like there's a lot more color. Let me show you guys what I mean by this. There's more color. Like, look at all of the color. As soon as I log into the game of Raid, I'm seeing bright lights, I'm seeing color. When I log into the game of King Arthur, all I'm seeing is darkness. The first thing I see when I log into King Arthur is just darkness and gloom. I forgot to click stay logged in the last time I played, so I'm now having to take extra steps just to log into my account that nobody's going to hack. Like, nobody cares about your King Arthur account. Nobody's going to hack your King Arthur account, dude. Nobody cares about King Arthur, first of all. So let's try and log in here again. Alright, so it actually did load this time, which is good. So it took me half an hour to log into King Arthur today, which is awesome. You know, who doesn't love to wait half an hour before they can log into a game that they're wanting to play? Most of us don't even have a half hour to play the damn game. You want to log into the game immediately, not 30 minutes after you intended to log in. Big knock on King Arthur for that right there. Is it going to make me start a brand new game? Because I literally spent 4 hours playing this game before, and I better have my account progress saved, or there's going to be problems. Alright, fair enough. 18 megabyte download, nothing, that's nothing, not a problem, don't care. My computer has 500 megabytes a second download speed, so why is this taking more than 20 seconds to download 18 megabytes? And we're checking the update. What are we checking? What is in 18 megabytes that we need to check for 35 seconds? And yeah, I'm not going to harp on it anymore, but the downloading and the updating of this game so far has been horrendous. Now, okay, we've already talked about the pay-to-win structure. It is a lot better, and it's the only thing that's better in King Arthur, in my opinion. Now, these characters here, first thing I'll show you. Look at this doom and gloom, man. And it's not even gonna let me look at it, because it's gonna do the whole Raid Shadow Legends thing. Let's pop up 18 potential packages that you could buy as soon as you log into the game. It's no different than the second you walk in the door when you get home. You have like your five kids all like jumping on you and being like, "Hi, Daddy, it's so good to see you. Hey, by the way, can you give me 20 bucks? Can you give me 30 bucks? Can you give me 60 bucks?" Like, that would be really lame. So how about not doing that? You know, if people want to purchase a pack, they're going to go to the store and look at the packs. You think we're freaking stupid, man? We're all adults playing these games with credit cards. We all know how to go to the mall and enter the store that we wish to enter to purchase the product that we wish to purchase. You're questioning our intelligence by putting these pop-ups on every 3 seconds, even if it's just 1 or 2 pop-ups. You know, it's ruthless and it's bad for business, so don't do it. If you really want us to buy the packs, how about lowering the price of the packs? Ever think of that? No, probably not, right? Your worthless digital items that are good for nothing in real life that you value so highly, lower the price and you'll get more purchases. It's that simple. So anyways, moving on from that, finally I'm able to now look at the bastion, or whatever they call it in Raid, like the main area, and look at how the just absolute doom and gloom, man, darker than the black of my sweater. And I just want to, you know what, I'm just depressed. I'm depressed and I'm sad.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And I'm not happy at all looking at this bastion, looking at this entrance area, this lobby, so to speak. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get out of this game right now. But since I'm doing a video on why I think King Arthur Legends Rise will fail, ultimately, in comparison to Raid, I think that will just continue along down my path here. And secondly, I'm confused. I'm now confused. I'm logged into King Arthur Legends Rise, and I don't know what to do. Everything looks the same. Every area looks the same. I'm not given any tips or hints whatsoever as to what to click on, so I'm going to go to Hero Management right here under my shoulder. You don't see it, but it's right underneath me. And this is where my characters are. Now, wow, would you look at that? The first character that I look at... Okay, so yeah, this character has less pixelation than the first time I logged into the game. So actually they improved the pixelation that I was seeing in the characters, but the problem is this character looks like Morticia Adams. Like, the first thing that I noticed in these characters is they all look very generic and bland. Like, wow, King Arthur has a sword and knight's armor and nothing more. Whoop-de-doo. One of my least favorite factions about Raid Shadow Legends has been the Bannerlords. And funny enough, King Arthur, the main character in this game, is a Bannerlord. It's one of the easiest and most easiest to mess up designs in all of history, because it's been done so many times by so many people that you can't really create new characters like this. It's all been done. So let's move towards stuff like this, where this character looks a lot like a character in Raid Shadow Legends. Let me pull him up. I mean, isn't that like eerily similar? The antlers and everything. Like, now we go back to King Arthur for a moment. So King Arthur has just ripped off Raid Shadow Legends in pretty much every single area. There's no originality to this game whatsoever, and that's I'll try to make like the last time I harp on that. But if you're gonna make a game like Raid Shadow Legends, expect people to be overly critical of you. And what have they really done? Like, somebody tell me, what have they done to make this game any different or more unique than Raid Shadow Legends? The lobby looks exactly the same, only done worse. The characters look exactly the same, only done worse. You can upgrade the character's gear exactly the same way that you upgrade the gear of the characters in Raid, only worse. The characters look worse. I don't know, like, what do they have going on here? The download of the game takes way too long. It's way worse than Raid Shadow Legends and can only be played on PC. So I have a fairly decent gaming PC, and this game I still find extremely laggy when I play it. The story mode makes no sense. Who reads the story mode? Do you guys do that? Like, I'm one of the am I one of the few people that just doesn't give a flying fadoodle cake about the story mode of a game? And I just want to play the game. I want to upgrade the characters. I want to upgrade the gear. I just skip right through the story. I don't care about the story. Nobody reads the story. So why do you put any time into the story whatsoever? Another thing that I don't like about this game is I'm just clicking. There's so many hidden areas to click that you're probably going to miss out on some stuff, or just spend your life eternity clicking and finding stuff to click on, and FOMO will set in because you're just worried about, did I just miss something that to click on? So that's really it. They've called the portal Lake Avalon, so you can go to Lake Avalon and flick a coin and make a wish type thing, which is kind of funny. I don't really have anything more to say about it, guys. I wouldn't invest a whole lot into King Arthur at the moment, unless this is like you're just a hardcore gamer. One of the reasons why King Arthur is going to fail is because they're expecting to take players. Their basic premise of this game was they're expecting to take players from Raid Shadow Legends that are upset and disgruntled because of the prices of the game, when in reality, I would say about 95%, even though it might seem greater than that, it's really not. I would say about 95% of the player base in Raid Shadow Legends is free to play or low spend tier, which means that yes, the players that are the most upset are likely the whales. The players that are getting ripped off every time they buy a pack are going to be itching at the bit, or chomping at the bit, to play a new game that's pretty much the same thing as Raid Shadow Legends, that they can thrive and dominate the lobbies in. And that's the reason why they spend in Raid Shadow Legends, is because they want to dominate the lobbies and be the best account on the game. And they can't be unless they spend the most money. You know? So it would be easier for them to be the best player in the world playing a game like King Arthur Legends Rise, where your packs cost 50 to 60% less to get the same result as you would get in Raid Shadow Legends, but everything else is 50 to 60% worse than Raid Shadow Legends, and there's a reason for it. That Raid Shadow Legends wins and King Arthur's Legends Rise loses. Because you're trying to steal players from a player base that are not willing to leave, first of all. A lot of people will definitely investigate King Arthur, and I'm sure just about every player that plays Raid Shadow Legends with a PC will eventually try King Arthur Legends Rise, like I have, and give it a shot. But ultimately realize that with the amount of resources and time that we already have invested into Raid Shadow Legends, and the convenience that it brings to the table, being able to play it on the go, on mobile, you can play it anywhere in the world at any time, whereas with King Arthur, you have to fire up your literal computer to play the game. I think that the player base that's already with Raid Shadow Legends, I would say at least the majority of them, probably at least 70 to 80% of Raid Shadow Legends players, even the upset ones like myself, will still remain with Raid Shadow Legends for the simple fact that you have copied the game and you have not done a very good job of it. If you had done a better job of it, if you had put more time and effort into the characters and put more time and effort into lessening the file sizes and condensing the file sizes, and just the whole game interface as a whole, and made it a lot more enjoyable and entertaining to actually play. And I didn't mention that either. The actual gameplay of King Arthur Legends Rise and Raid Shadow Legends is pretty much exactly the same. The only thing that's different about King Arthur Legends Rise that I found was that it's more pixelated and like laggy, and almost like the file seems like corrupted of some sorts. It's almost like it's like pulling, it's like dragging. Whereas Raid Shadow Legends, it's just smooth and it works, and maybe it's not as, maybe the storyline is not as like good as King Arthur or whatever. It's not as I don't know how to describe it. It's not as well thought out as King Arthur, but King Arthur is just like slow and clunky, and this big like it's this big thing that wants to be good, and it could be good, but it's just not good, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry to tell you, but your game sucks, dude. Your game sucks. Why did you copy Raid Shadow Legends and make it a worse game and expect people to just flock to you, and the new players that are gonna discover King Arthur are probably gonna know about Raid very quickly, and even the players that start off playing King Arthur and find out, oh my god, you can play Raid on a device, and the file size and it's convenient, and the characters look better, and the overall like player base is much bigger, and the lore and the history of the game is just much better, and this game is just wanting to be good, but it's not. Like, I'll just switch over to Raid, no problem at all. Even though I have to pay a little more, it is what it is, because I'm not really paying that much anyways. I'm just, coming on here for an hour or two a day to play a game, and they're going to choose Raid. I can guarantee you right now, with the state of King Arthur Legends Rise and the state of Raid, the player base as a whole, I guarantee you, will choose Raid Shadow Legends, even the new players. So with that, I'm getting out of here for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I made my points. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't, and that's totally cool. It's just my opinion, and I understand and respect that you all have your opinions as well. And just understand that this is not a biased account of... I have thought this out for over a month. I played the game, I gave it a fair shot, I spent over 6 hours on it, and I looked through pretty much every area in the game that there is to look through, and this is how I drew my conclusion. Okay? This video is not sponsored in any way. I'm not being paid by either Raid or King Arthur to make this video, or anyone else for that matter, to make this video. It is all just my personal opinion on my two experiences with each game, and that is where I stand for now. So, my name is Andrew. If you like this type of video, you can subscribe to the channel. I make videos like this all the time, mostly on Raid Shadow Legends and various other games similar to Raid Shadow Legends that are actually good. And yeah, with that, I'm getting out of here for now, guys. Peace out.